All right, guys, so we're going to be doing a little bit of a product review today on camping gear since we are doing our summer camping. I have the Camillus Carnivore X here. I've been using the little knife that it comes with, this one right here, for cutting up vegetables and stuff like that, just around the camp, just seeing how good it is. It holds a good edge, and it works for that. It's apparently not stainless because it does have a couple of little rust spots starting to pop up on it. But the grooves in it are for tying it onto the end of a stick to make a real spear out of. And it's got a 7mm and a 9mm wrench hole in it, which is 9mm, 7mm. It works pretty good. Onto the comes in a really good hard sheath that's really nice. And this whole thing's for like under $30. So here is the blade. It's got a chisel, supposed to be a chisel on the very end. The slanted edge is supposedly for digging. And then of course your main blade. It too is not stainless apparently because it has started to rust, and I've only ever really used it once to mess around with. And it's got saw blades on the back that you can see I've used. So in testing out the product, I used it to try to saw down this tree limb, and I got to about here, and I stopped and I hit it with the blade to go ahead and drop it. It worked fairly well. I'll show you a demonstration here in a second. But it works pretty well. The blade seems to hold up pretty good. I mean, it's not going to drop anything real fast. So there's that tree limb. I mean, see, normal machete, you probably could have got that in one swing. So the normal machete, you could probably get this limb down in one swing. I'm on swing number 2. Swing number 3. If I could hit the same spot, it might actually work. So it works. It worked pretty good on that limb. It's putting a good sized gash in it right there. I'm sorry this is blurry. I'm trying. For some reason this isn't trying to focus right now. So it's not perfect, but it will do the job. Now, when it comes to the saw teeth, like I said, it works decently well too. I could hold and video. There we go. Cuts through pretty easy. And the blade's not really made to hold on to when you're sawing. They could probably adjust that a little, but in just a few seconds, you've got a piece of sawed off wood. So it does work. In about less than a minute, I cut through that tree enough I could break it off with the saw blade. The hatchets, the machete part of it, it works pretty well. It's not a true machete. I wouldn't call it a true machete. Got some tree limb on top of my head. I wouldn't call it a true machete, but it is a multi-functional knife. I guess you could use it, if I make stew later, I'll use it to cut up my potatoes and stuff and show you guys that. I'm not sure I'm making stew. I think my nephew wants hot dogs, so we'll probably be having hot dogs. But yeah, I mean, as just a multi-use tool out in the woods for $30, the Camillus, I think that's how you say it, Carnivore X, works really good. Like I said, it chopped down those little limbs. I sawed through that tree quick enough to, be able to, where I could break it pretty quickly in less than a minute. So you could, I guess, if you wanted to, this is like a survival type weapon, as a camp knife kind of weapon. I think it's worth every penny. And it chops really good. I mean, just... And no damage to the blade. So I'm going to say for $30, it's well worth it. All right, guys. So I was talking about that little knife being able to make a spear because it's got the notches in it for down the handle for your rope to go into. So slightly pull this one back. You see there's a notch right there for your rope to go into. So you tie it on there. It's got barbs for, like, if you stick a fish or whatever, it won't come off. So we're going to walk through here and see if we can find a little something to stick. I think I saw a beer can over here earlier, left by, I guess, previous campers, because I sure as heck don't drink Budweiser. So, since it's about the only thing I have to stick, of course, you put it on a nice long straight stick. This one's made out of hickory. You just, well, if you can stick it the first time. I mean, full penetration on that. It didn't come off. A lot of that's going to depend on how good at tying you are. And you can see right there, I tried to sling it off, and that barb caught it. And there you go. I mean, it's sticking in the tree pretty good. Of course, that all depends on, again, how good you tie it on there. I just kind of basically did wrapped it around one direction, and then brought the other end and wrapped it around the other direction and tied it on the back. Of course, there's way better ways you could tie it on there. I could have stripped out the 550 cord so it fits in the thing better. So any bad part on that is on me. But I mean, it definitely works as a spear. I mean, you saw me stick that. Saw me stick the tree. Man, I was stabbing that tree pretty hard. I mean, so imagine if that was the flesh of an animal, it's going to go right in, and there is no damage to the blade. Tip's still nice and pointy. It's not damaged. So yeah, the little knife makes a good spear. So like I said, the little knife makes a good spear. The big knife does what it's supposed to do. Is it the most practical tool in the world? No, but for camping or backpacking or a survival situation, is a great tool to have, especially for $30. I mean, I now have a spear, a machete, a chisel. I have multiple means of processing animals, including this, because, like I said, I've been cutting up vegetables and stuff with it. You could easily skin an animal with it. It's nice and sharp and holds a good edge. You can spear fish with it. It's got the barbs, so they don't come off of it real easy. You use it to make a spear. I mean, I guess you could sharpen a stick into a spear or whatever. But yeah, I say for $30, y'all go pick you up the Camillus Carnivore X. Try it out for yourself. See how you like it. All right, guys. So, like I said, when it comes to the Camillus Carnivore X, it's a really great knife. The spear does actually work. So that being said, it does not come with any 550 cord through the eyelet handle there for your wrist or anywhere else. So I do recommend taking some 550 cord and wrapping it either through the little holes and stuff on there, like kind of like I did, or through the handle, so you have a piece of 550 cord with you to make your spear or to make your wrist restraint or whatever you want to do with it. But I do recommend putting a 550 cord on there so you have it if you need to make a spear or whatever. And it's always good to have cordage, especially if you're using this kind of as your survival style knife. So far, it's worked really well for everything I've wanted to do. Made my nephew a spear with it, like a little wood spear with it. That's why I put this back in here. He's not going to actually have a actual spear, but yeah, there you go. All right, guys. So again, back with the Carnivore X. Carnivore X. I'm going to be cutting up some potatoes. My little nephew's going to try to film for me, and we're going to see how it turns out. I already cut up the onions with it and a few potatoes with it, and we'll cut up a few potatoes with the little one that comes with it to show y'all how good it works. And again, for 30 bucks, I highly recommend this as a survival or camping knife. All right, so I'm gonna show you this right here, chopped potato, just fine. I mean, no issues, works good. And I was chopping wood with that 5 minutes ago. So, little knife. When y'all saw me stab into a tree, it's not big enough to cut this big old potato, but I mean, just cuts right through, no issues at all. So I would say that for 30 bucks, you get wood chopping and sawing capabilities, a spear, and a paring knife, pretty much. I would definitely say it was worth it. You know, cut up all that. So, yeah. Go get you one. Carnivore X. So remember to like and subscribe. Check out my Instagram. I want to thank you guys for watching. Y'all stay frosty, and I'll see you next time.